What's up guys, macadii here, and today guys, the trades and transactions for the GPC for Season 5. Now how it works with the GPC, it's slightly different to other leagues. Rather than being able to pick up and drop stuff at any point that you want, you've basically got to do, every 3 weeks they have a sort of transaction sort of period of time, where how it works is you go through sort of like a draft line again, but only 3 times. And what you can do is you can drop as many Pokemon as you want, and each time it comes to you can pick up 1 new Pokemon. So in the end, with this one, I decided not to do anything on the first turn. Then something pretty big dropped, so I decided to pick that up, and then finally I had a couple of points left over, so I decided to pick up another Pokemon from there. So as you can see on the screen, unfortunately, we did get rid of Terrakion and Houndoom. Now, you may be a bit wondering why on earth I'm doing that. Terrakion, I found, while it is a very good Pokemon, like it's great with its setup and all of that stuff, I just found it a little bit lackluster, especially with my team. It just seems to, I end up having to bring it Scarf so many times, and then it becomes very, very predictable. And I think there's a lot more that I could do with the points if I sort of turn it back into points and pick something new up from there. So unfortunately, I decided Terrakion is going to be one that is going to be dropped. Overall, it's just not been that impressive. Like it has been, it's been sort of semi-decent during the matches, but then it's not been, considering how expensive it is. It's 14 points out of my 100 points. I feel I'm not really getting my money's worth for it, so unfortunately I have decided to drop that. The other one we have ended up dropping is Mega Houndoom. Now, yes, this guy is 6 points, and I can understand that, but from what so far, all it's really done is like done a little bit of damage, and then it's died. Like my problem is with it is it doesn't hit hard enough. Like 140 special attack sounds great, but considering its ability is only great under the sun, and it's quite difficult to try and get a set that's able to set up the sun and still do very well. It's just, most of the time they've just switched into a special wall, it's struggled to do anything, and then I've had to sack it off late game because it's not really been able to, it's not particularly valuable for late game. So overall, even though it is 6 points, I had to throw something else in to try and get this other pick. So as you can imagine, this is quite an expensive pick I'm going to be bringing up, but I think it's worth it to sacrifice Houndoom here to pick up something new. So as the draft was going round, it went along, I said no, I'll be fine. Then it came back round, and it came to later on in that first round, and someone ended up dropping Mega Lopunny. And I had to think about this, and I was like, well, I've got Lando Eye, and has anyone in any league ever had a chance to have both Mega Lopunny and also Landorus Eye? And I had to think about it. I don't remember anyone having it, so I want to give it a go. It's a bit of a YOLO move, I must admit. Like, I'm not 100% sure how this is going to work out. Like, it could either be really, really good, like Mega Lopunny plus Landorus Eye could be absolutely insane. On the other side of the coin, though, I could have just made a terrible, thing, because I had to basically, because Mega Lopunny's 19 points, I've basically had to cut down the number of sort of decent mons that I've got down to 8 rather than 9. So my team does become a lot more predictable. But then I feel the power of Mega Lopunny eclipses both having Terrakion and also Houndoom. So far, as I said, they've been very, very lackluster. So I'm hoping by taking a bit of a gamble, picking up a very, very powerful, arguably the best Mega in League format by a lot of people, I think it's definitely worth it from that aspect. Finally, because Terrakion was worth 14 points and Houndoom was worth 6, that brought me up to 20 points that I had left. Obviously, I spent 19 on Mega Lopunny, so I had 1 point left. So it's a very, very small transaction, but I ended up picking up Abra. Now, you may be thinking, that's a bit of a meme pick. Why on earth have you done that? Like, what's it going to do? You ever going to use it? I've been having a look at the matchups, and I have a think there's a good chance I might end up bringing it. Now, it sounds really, really strange, but when it comes to a Sash Revenge Killer, the main things you want speed and you want special attack. The rest of the move, like rest of it's like attack, it's HP, it's defense and special defense, are almost like non-existent. You don't really have to care about those. The main things is, can it hit hard and can it outspeed stuff? While it's not as, obviously as fast as Alakazam is and stuff like that, I still feel it's got a niche potentially with my team where it can, check a lot of offense and a lot of setup, because my team's already quite offensive with both, Mega Lopunny and also Landorus Eye. Having a check to opposing setup. So for example, I haven't looked at the matchup, but say Dragon Dance Mega Charizard X is looking like a huge threat to my team. I could bring along Abra with T-Wave, and I know for sure, as long as I keep my Abra around, I can stop a Mega Charizard X sweep. So it's just things like that. Having that in your back pocket, that like emergency button. As I said, while it's not as good as normal Alakazam, I still think it's incredibly valuable. Like, it's still not that bad in terms of special attack. Like, 105 is still pretty respectable. It's got pretty much the same move pool, I think, as Alakazam. And while its speed's not great, it's still, you know, not bad. So hopefully we will end up getting some use out of Abra. So those are all the transactions. So I hope you, let me know, guys, you know, what do you think about those changes? I've actually got some examples. So this is what my team used to look like. So obviously with the Mega Houndoom, that was our top speediest Pokemon, and Terrakion. So we had a lot of things within like the 100s to 115s, but I was always finding if there was anything that was much faster, like you know, base 120 or anything like that, it was always a real pain. So I wanted something a little bit faster. And as you can see, that's why I decided, partly why I decided to pick up Megalopoly, because it's just so fast and it outspeeds pretty much all teams, which is really, really cool. So that's our new squad. Obviously, we've got Candy, the Megalopoly there, and also Hecate, the Abra. So it does bring up our speed quite a bit, so that's really, really nice. So fingers crossed, this transaction is going to be a useful one. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, and I will see you guys at the next one. Macadii out.